In this video, I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask when it comes to meat evidence. In the last few decades, we've seen meat become a scapegoat for every single disease, modern disease. Things like obesity, diabetes, cancer are being blamed for things that we've been eating as humans for tens of thousands of years, but suddenly they're causing diseases now. It makes no sense. The evidence doesn't stack up, but we're constantly seeing articles, even scientific articles, blaming red meat and other forms of animal protein for these diseases, and unfortunately the evidence is dishonestly interpreted. So and I recently saw an article by a fantastic scientist, Zoe Harcum. I would advise you to check her website out, zoeharcum.com. And in the article she talked about 3 questions that you need to ask. So I'm just going to repeat those for you today in this video and explain to you how you should think about evidence with regards to red meat or any form of animal protein and disease. The first question you need to ask is it association or causation? Often it's an association that's interpreted as causation. So because this is high, A is high and B is high, therefore A causes B, when unfortunately that's not always the case. And to give you a simple example, if I said to you that eating ice cream increases your risk of being attacked by a shark, you'd think that doesn't make sense. But if you look at this example further, you'll see why someone can make that claim. If it's a hot day on a popular beach that has sharks in the sea, for example, there'll be a lot of people on that beach, more people swimming in the sea, and the number of shark attacks will increase. At the same time, because there's more people on the beach on a hot day, more people will buy ice cream. So if you look at sales of ice cream over a month and shark attacks, let's say in a hot month in the middle of the summer, you're going to see an association between ice cream sales and shark attacks. It doesn't mean that ice cream consumption causes shark attacks. It makes no sense. The same thing here. There may be an association between meat consumption and colon cancer or diabetes or heart disease, but it's not causation. There are a multitude of other factors that explain that. And one of these is question number 2, which is the healthy user effect. What are you comparing to what? Are you comparing somebody who's healthy eating meat to somebody who's healthy and doesn't eat meat? You're not. What you're actually comparing is somebody who eats a lot of processed meats, such as hamburgers, hot dogs, and also bread, ketchup, full sugar soda, doesn't exercise much, smokes, eats a lot of sugar, to somebody who may eat a small amount of good quality red meat and eggs, plenty of vegetables, not eats to excess, doesn't have excess sugar, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink alcohol, or doesn't drink to excess, exercises. So you're not comparing like for like. You're not identifying meat as this independent factor and then saying, yes, adding meat causes cancer, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So that's the second question. What are you comparing to what? And that's called the healthy user effect. And the third question to ask is, what is the relative and absolute risk? So often the statistics, I wouldn't say manipulated, but sometimes not fully explained in the context of the association between 2 things, whether it's, let's say, red meat and colon cancer. You have to take into account what the actual risks are. So to give you a simple example, colon cancer, the lifetime risk is 5%. And one of the 2 important risk factors are age, so you can't control for aging, and obesity. They increase your risk of developing colon cancer. If you add processed meat, the studies suggest that there's a 20% increase, which increases your risk from 5% to 6%. When you think about that your lifetime risk goes from 5% to 6%, potentially, if you're eating processed meat, if we assume that's the independent risk factor, is that a really significant thing? Maybe you want to take that risk. I'll take the risk of having a few slices of salami that may increase your risk of cancer from 5% to 6%, but really it's not really the only risk factor. It's going to be, again, a confounding factor. If somebody eats a lot of salami and processed meat, they're going to have lots of sugar, lots of other poor lifestyle choices. But you have to think about that 20% increases from 5% to 6%. Compare that to smoking. Your lifetime risk of developing lung cancer if you're a non-smoker is 0.25%. If you're a smoker, your risk increases to 6.6%, and that is a 2,600% increase. And the reason I mention that is smoking and processed meat are mentioned together in a lot of literature, a lot of articles, as if they're equivalent. They're not even in the same ballpark. You're talking about a potential risk of from 5% increase to 6%, sorry, or for colon cancer. But you're talking a 2,600% increase from 0.25 to 6.6% if you smoke. And smoking has no benefits, whereas red meat, and if we're talking about fresh red meat, has massive benefits. It's a very nutrient dense food that will help to strengthen your body and improve your vitality, improve your function. So that's how you have to think about that with regards to a relative and absolute risk. Think about what the lifetime risk is and what you're actually increasing if we're assuming that's the actual cause. So those are the three questions you need to think about when it comes to reading articles that may be a little bit biased against meat, and also you can apply the same principles when it comes to scientific articles as well. So let me know what you think about that. I do recommend you check out Zoe Harcum, great nutritionist. I'm a big fan of hers, and I'll see you on the next video.